guys, come eat with me at Toyo Eatery, the best restaurant in the Philippines. From its humble beginnings as a little soy sauce inspired joint, they have become one of the best restaurants in Asia, snagging the title of best restaurant in the Philippines for 5 years straight. So I am now here seated inside Toyo Eatery. It is actually really nice inside. It kind of reminds me of being in like a Filipino home, but like a modern home. And luckily, I'm seated right next to the kitchen, so I see all the action right here.
Again, ako si Clyde. Kasama ko si Chef Edmond.
Hi.
He's the one in charge for tonight.
Okay.
Enjoy!
Hi, thank you.
Hi, and hindi lang kami dalawa kasi kasama natin yung buong Barangay Toyo for you. And right now, ibibigay ko po yung warmest welcome na kaya namin ibigay sa pamamagitan ng mainit na sabaw. Pero bago yun, on your table, meron kang dinatnan dito na ginawa namin siyang parang divider kasi communal table. Pero bukod doon is, kung mapapansin mo, arrangement siya ng mga gulay tsaka bulaklak. So art appreciation siya na ginawa namin para i-showcase yung mga produces na nakukuha namin from our partner farmers all around the Philippines. Marami kami partners na magsasaka dito. Pero yung common thing about them is they all practices organic farming. And mostly sa mga gulay na nakukuha namin from them every day, especially yung mga trimmings ng mga pagkain na hinahanda namin para sa inyo, hindi namin siya tinatapon because we highly value sustainability. So ginagawa namin siya kasama ng mga sariwa at buo na gulay. Pinagsasama-sama namin sila sa container na malaki. Sinisil namin and we steam it for 8 hours straight to give you this warm vegetable soup. And bago ilagay ni Chef Edmond yung sabaw kanina, meron siyang malunggay oil sa cup mo. So yun yung kulay green na lumuluta ngayon. And I will also finish your soup with freshly cracked na black pepper.
Okay.
Para magkaroon naman ng konting sipa ng spice. Right?
Okay.
And by the way, konting walkthrough lang sa mga mangyayari for tonight. For tonight, you will have 8 courses of dinner. But on that 8 courses, it doesn't mean 8 dishes lang. Tonight, you will have at least 21 dishes.
Oh, wow.
So I hope you're ready for that.
Oh, I'm ready.
This is the very first one. And
Okay.
while waiting dun sa mga kasabay at kasunod niya, you can start taking a sip of this.
Okay.
Careful lang, medyo mainit.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoy, please. Are you familiar with what this is?
Wonton wrapper?
Lumpia wrapper.
Oh, okay.
Pambalot ng lumpia. Next thing. This is one of our signature dish na we like to call garden salad. It looks like a plant. Right? Yeah, we like to call it garden salad. But for the people who have tried this before, who have eaten this, they call this Bahay Kubo.
Okay.
Familiar with the folk song Bahay Kubo?
Yes.
Do you know how many vegetables are there? Many?
10 or 11? Or more?
More.
Okay.
So, to be specific, there are 18
Okay.
different vegetables on the song. And you know what? All of those 18 vegetables, they're there.
Okay.
Yeah, some are pureed, sauteed, steamed, blanched. The soil-looking one on top is dehydrated eggplants with peanuts, and in the middle, the plant is mustard sprout, mustasa.
Okay.
Yeah, and right now you will have an activity. You will make your own lumpia.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't know how to roll lumpia, or do you know how to roll lumpia?
I think I'm familiar with it. Yeah. This is from the end, then.
You can top the sides first.
So they started us off with soup, and it's actually made from a lot of the vegetables that you see right here that they use as a divider, especially vegetables that they get from their farmers, and they steam it, and they put malunggay oil at the bottom, so you see the green flashes of color in the soup. Oh, it's actually very nice and clean, and it doesn't taste too vegetably, if you get what I mean. Like, it's actually like very nice tasting, clean tasting, flavorful. One of the first bites is this. It's like a garden root, and it's actually made from a lot of vegetables from the song Bahay Kubo, which is very interesting. And now it's time to make my own lumpia with this. So they said what's best is to like buy it and then drink as well. Actually really good. I remember growing up, I wasn't a fan of lumpia, but this is really good. I can definitely eat this every day.
For this one, we like to call this one halaan. So, do you know what halaan is?
I remember the word, but I refresh my mind.
Now, let me help you. Halaan is Filipino word for clams.
Okay, okay.
So underneath, there's nylon clams. That's the variety of clam that we used. Okay, so it's from Rojas City, not Rojas Boulevard.
Okay.
Rojas City. And Rojas City is also the seafood capital of the Philippines.
Okay.
And then, together with clam underneath, it has labong. Labong
Okay.
is bamboo shoots.
Oh, okay, okay.
On top, there's a foam that we made using clam soup with ginger, cream, and tapoy. Tapoy is our local fermented rice wine from the north in Ilocos region.
Okay.
On top, unfortunately, it's not matcha. It's malunggay powder
Oh, okay.
with piniritong dahon ng sili.
Okay.
Alright, so for this one, I suggest use your Antec spoon and don't mix it.
Don't mix. Okay.
Just scoop it from top to bottom.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and please.
Okay, thank you. So I also have myself here a craft cocktail that I ordered called Braso ni Jepe. So it's actually like using lambanog, which is a Philippine liquor, and then it has banana, mango, and I think sugar cane wine, which is interesting. And let's try. It's actually very fruity, has a nice sweetness to it, very refreshing. This was actually highly recommended to me by my server Clyde, and kudos to the recommendation, it's on point. Let's try this dish here. This is the clam dish, and they also provided this really cute spoon. Let's try. Wow. That is super flavorful. Very, very strong flavors of clam. So good. It's actually very, very addicting. The bamboo shoots adds like a nice crunch to the creaminess, and then the clam adds like a nice chew. The chili leaf actually adds a spicy kick if you get a spoon of it.
Your next dish.
Okay.
But it's one of the most important or essential thing when we eat as Filipinos. Aside from rice, sausawan,
Yeah.
or dipping sauce. And it's a classic one, vinegar.
Okay.
So the base is coconut vinegar. And then we just infused it with garlic and pepper. So for tonight, you can expect that there will be certain dishes that is coming that's best dipped
Okay.
into this. Especially the next one.
Okay.
But it's up to you. You can experiment or try on your own. If you think that there's a dish in front of you that is okay or better with this, you can try it.
Okay.
But I will tell you which are the best.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And also one last thing, it's bottomless.
Oh,
So if you need refill, just let me know.
So I can just
you can
drink it.
actually drink it, but please don't. You can, but don't. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So since meron kang suka po na sausawan, isa sa mga pinakamasarap isawsaw dyan is hipon. Yeah, so all of our shrimps here in Toyo is Batanggenyo. It's from the province of Batangas in the town of Calatagan. And in front of you, two ways on how to cook it. First, the one on the bilao po, halabos. So when we say halabos, yung ginagawa ng Filipinos sa modern age natin is we cook shrimps in soda or soft drinks. Yeah. But of course, for this one, we used the traditional way. We just dumped it in boiling hot water with salt.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And pag hinawakan niyo po, you can notice malamig siya.
Okay.
Because in-ice bath namin after to stop the cooking.
Okay.
The other one, fried. Of course, we took off the pills, seasoned it with salt and a little bit of patis. And then we wrapped it with dahon ng kamote. Before frying, to add some crisp, the batter that we used is our sourdough starter from our bakery, Panaderia Toyo. Finished it naman with tomato garlic powder on top. So for this one, I suggest the most classic way of eating shrimps is your hands.
Yeah.
Start with the fried one. Take little bites first so you know how it tastes like, and then sausaw niyo po sa vinegar. The same goes for the halabos. But of course, babalatan niyo muna siya.
Okay.
And Jepe, and also, heads up lang, you're still in the first course.
Okay.
And Jepe.
Thank you. So we are now in the shrimp course. They made two versions. One is fried and one is boiled and then blanched in cold so that it's actually pretty cold when you touch it. So they also gave a sausawan, which is like a dipping sauce. And they use like vinegar, there's garlic and pepper, I believe. And it's unlimited, so if you love dipping in sauce, you can pretty much like keep dipping if you want. Let's try. Very crispy, very juicy, super flavorful. And the shrimp is really sweet. Let's try dipping. I actually recommend dipping. It actually gives the extra dimension with the sourness. So what's unique is, even though they advertise it as an 8-course tasting menu, they said the total would be around 21. This is still on the first course. Like everything I've eaten so far is still the first course. And now let's try the shrimp. I'm gonna suck on the head first. And also I like how you actually experience Filipino culture because Filipino does a lot of like kamayan, which is like eaten with your hands. And this is probably the first tasting menu I've ever done where you actually use your hands very, very often, and that's why they even give you the wet towel. It's so good. So sweet. So simple, but so sweet. The sausawan really adds bring another dimension, but also helps bring out the sweetness even more. So another thing is, for the experience, they actually normally speak in Tagalog if you understand the language or are Filipino. And initially I told them if they can speak in English so that I can show it in the video, them explaining stuff. But then I realized I feel like I'm missing out on the entire experience of the tasting menu if it's not in Filipino. So I asked them to switch back. So it will be in Filipino going forward, at least them talking, but I'll still be talking in English and incorporating some of the things I learned. I hope you enjoy hearing both. If you're Filipino, at least you'll get to understand the full experience, both in English and Filipino.
While waiting for the next course, yung next course kasi, tawag namin dito, is mga kilaw.
Okay.
Pag sinabing kilaw or kinilaw, it's a cooking technique na niluluto lang yung hilaw na isda sa acid ng suka.
Oh.
Right? So while waiting for the dishes, may papakita ko. 2 ingredients na ginamit namin for this one. 2 key ingredients. Una, this is a tropical fruit from northern Mindanao na ang tawag Tabon-Tabon. So what we do with this is we scoop this out, yung middle part, and then ini-infuse in coconut vinegar. So yung purpose niya, it can lessen the acidity of the vinegar and also the fishiness of the fish.
Okay.
So this fruit contains high astringency. That's why nakikill niya yung bad odors tsaka aroma. Tapos dahil nga high yung astringency niya, yung ginagawa daw ng mga ancestors natin dati dito is ginagawa siyang mouthwash.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next one. This is called Bubud. It's a natural yeast starter mula sa norte, sa Ilocos. So siya yung gamit sa proseso ng pagtatapay or yung pagbuburo ng kanin.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so sa Ilocos, nagbuburo sila ng kanin for at least 3 months to make the tapoy. Or
ano meaning ng nagbuburo?
nagka-ferment.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. And si tapoy, by the way, is again yung rice wine.
Okay.
But us here in Toyo, we ferment rice for at least 3 days. Yung na-ferment namin na rice, yung ginagawa namin sa kanya, binabalot siya sa sariwang isda. And we let it rest for at least 2 days naman. Yung purpose niya is, gusto namin ma-extract lahat ng moisture ng isda. The perfect term, dina-dry age namin yung isda. Para lumabas yung tunay na flavors, linamnam niya.
Yun ba yung nakasabit doon?
Yan yung klase, pero hindi yan yung mismo. Okay, so, in front of you, 3 different kilaws. Let's start with the one on your left. This fish is mackerel, or tanige. So, siya yung ginamitan ng suka with tabon-tabon para makilaw. On top of it, it's also the classic one. Meron siyang pickled ginger, red onions, lime zest, and then singkamas. Lastly, I'm sorry, next on the right, the fish is tuna. The difference, the vinegar that we used for this is different, called tuba.
Tuba.
And then, question, mahilig ka ba sa maanghang, sir?
Oh.
Because the color white on the tuna, spicy coconut cream.
Okay.
We zested one of our local coffee limes on top of it. And then, meron siyang fermented cucumber. Lastly, in the middle, ito, simulan natin dun sa chip. That chip is eggplant chip. So it's edible. We spreaded some sauce on top of it. The meat that we used, hindi siya isda. Leg part ng kambing. Goat, but don't you worry, it's not completely raw. Tinorch muna namin siya. Tapos ginamitan siya ng suka na may Tabon-Tabon para makilaw. And then, on top ulit, meron siyang citruses, one soy or cilantro, goat flakes, tsaka chicharon. And yung chicharon po, balat din ng kambing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so for this course, meron akong suggestion ng sequence.
Okay.
Start with mackerel,
Okay.
next the goat, last
Next the goat.
the spicy.
Okay.
But I'm not saying na you'll finish it one by one. I'm saying that you will just take a bite of each one by one until you
okay.
finish everything.
Oh, okay.
So one bite, one bite,
Yeah,
one bite.
okay.
Paikot.
Okay, okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Enjoy, please.
Thank you. So now it's the raw dish course.
Most Filipinos, when we eat kilaw, we always want to pair it with inihaw,
Oh.
grilled foods. This is our OG dish na ang tawag namin sa kanya, 3-cut pork barbecue. So yung dish na to matanda pa kay Toyo.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so 3-cut because every bite or portion ng barbecue na to, meron siyang 3 layers of meat. And that 3 layers, iba't ibang parte siya ng pork, ng baboy. Which is shoulder, leg, and belly. Or kasim, pigi, at liempo. And then on top, meron siyang pickled labanos.
Okay.
So, for the barbecue, bigyan kita ng choice. You can consume it immediately habang mainit-init pa siya.
Okay.
Or anytime during this course. It's up to you.
Anytime
During this course.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And also, I highly suggest na yung barbecue, dip it in the vinegar.
Okay.
This barbecue is life-changing. Enjoy,
Okay.
please.
Thank you. So the surprises keeps coming, and then another dish just came. They said it's the pork barbecue, and it's freshly made. So they said maybe try it first while it's hot, and here it is. Perfectly grilled. Actually, the layers are very interesting. Like, you can actually taste the difference. Like you get the fatty one, you get lean parts. So good. Kind of reminds me of like what I had in fatty tutak with the layered lamb. So good. Let me try it with the dipping sauce. Oops, oh no, very good with the dipping sauce. It helps like balance out the sweetness of the barbecue pork. And now I'm gonna continue with the rotation and then also save this in the rotation. Wow, that is an eggplant dish that I would want to eat as well every day. It is so delicate, I'm afraid of breaking it. Let's try. Sounds interesting, like very simple tasting. You get the nice coconut flavor. It's not like in your face with bold flavors, but the coconut adds a nice like hint of sweetness, coconutty taste. But the spiciness that they add actually gives a nice kick. Let me rotate back to the mackerel. When you rotate the tree, you actually get a nice combination of like flavors, textures. It's very nice.
Okay, so since yung previous course natin or yung mga kilaw, they have very strong flavors. It lingers, right? So let's calm down a little bit. Let's go back to soups. The base of this is pork broth. And the interesting part on this is we added the favorite vegetables of every Filipino. And I really meant that sarcastically. It has okra,
Oh.
saluyot,
Oh.
and labanos. Yeah, so for this one, if you can notice, you don't have any cutlery because I want you to dip the bowl
Ah, okay.
and sip
Yeah.
from it. But be careful lang po, mainit siya.
Okay.
Tapos, sabayan mo siya nito. This is buro or fermented cucumbers, that's Chino. So, the cucumber, we just soaked it in rice wash for 3 days. That's it. So, you can take a little sip and then take a little bite.
Okay.
Alternate ulit.
Okay. Also, a little bite lang, hindi
Yeah.
isang subo.
Pwede, ikaw bahala. Nasa sayo ko.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay, thank you. So this next course is kind of like a soup, and it's kind of also meant like a like palate cleanser. They said yes, it's to cleanse after like the more bold, complex dishes previously, and it's served in this like kind of like a seashell type bowl. Very very pretty, and they said there's no spoon because you actually drink it right from the bowl. That's interesting. So it's actually quite viscous. I thought it would be like very clear and watery, but it has a thick viscosity to it. Very interesting. So unlike the very first soup where it tasted very clean and didn't taste vegetable, like you can taste the vegetables in it. And then they said you also get this and yeah, you take little bites. Kind of tastes like an olive to me, but it's not an olive. Yes, very interesting. There's something like, it's viscous, but there's something kind of stringy as well.
So for your next dish, if you look on your bowl, it has different layers of components. At the bottommost layer, kulay puti siya, it's soy milk curd. On top of it naman, yung orange one, it's a sauce that we made using sour fruits from the Philippines like kamyas or bilimbi, tomatoes, and green mangoes. On top, it looks like meat, but it's grilled oyster mushroom with some spring onions, and also in the middle of everything, meron siyang kadyos. Kadyos is a small black pea from Visayas. If I'm not mistaken, the English name for kadyos is pigeon pea. Yeah. And just to inform you, this dish is vegan.
Okay, yeah.
And I suggest use your spoon and again don't mix it.
Okay.
You can just make sure that in every scoop you can get at least a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Enjoy.
So this next course is a vegan course, interestingly, and then there's soybean curd, mushrooms as well, and he said to dig into everything and try to get a bit of everything. Let's try. I think I got a bit of everything. That is very flavorful. And the mushrooms, actually they cooked it so that it's kind of crispy. Loving the play on textures. Just like the creaminess, the crispy. And you get a bit of like all the flavors here too. Very, very good.
Next course. So on your plate, kung titignan mo siya, it's like a deconstructed dish. So on the very right side of it, that is laman ng alimasag. Blue crab meat that we sourced from Cebu. So to form it, we added some egg whites and then we wrap it on that exact banana leaf. Tapos in-steam. Nung naluto, we topped it with a gel that's made out of tapoy. Again, tapoy is our local fermented rice wine.
Okay.
Next, in the middle. So it's a sauce that we made using palapa. And when you say palapa, it's a famous condiment from Maranao region in Mindanao. And it's mainly made out of sakurap or scallions with different kinds of aromatics, and it's a little bit spicy. So we added some crab fat with it and gata.
Okay.
And then on the left side, it's fried shallots with fresh green chilies. And if you look closely, there are tiny fishes in there. It's called dulong.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so suggestion for this one is try the crab meat as is on your first bite, and then try it with the sauce in the middle, and then try it with everything.
Okay.
And good news, after this, main course.
Okay.
Enjoy it, please.
Thank you. So now this is the crab course. They said to try the crab first. Wow. Oh, the crab is super flavorful. They added some sort of jelly here that's kind of sweet. It gives it like that sweet and savory component. Although personally, I would prefer just the taste of the crab. Mm. And then they said, actually, I'll try each component on its own first. Oh wow, this is nice. So it's like coconutty with crab fat. Nice crisp. And there's some, wow, that's strong. There's some chili there that adds that spice. It's actually like not crazy spicy, but it hit my throat. That and it made me cough. Now let's try mixing stuff. That is really good combined. It adds that creaminess and hint of like coconutty flavor. Actually helps the crab. Very good. Mixing everything is definitely the best. Now you get all the textures with the creaminess and the crispy. You get the spicy kick. So good.
So, welcome po sa main course nyo. Enjoy! Okay, so bago mag-mains, bigyan kita ng drink to restart your palate. This is your cleanser for tonight. So, gumawa kami ng drink using the leaves underneath. And that was the leaves of our local kaffir lime na kung tawagin, kabayawa, from northern Mindanao. So, in northern Mindanao, yung tawag sa kanya, biyasong. Okay? Tapos, sinama na din namin yung balat nun, ng citrus. And also, meron siyang mist na gawa din dun sa kabayawa. Mist. So, gawa siya dun sa mismong juice.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so, heads up. This is not your typical palate cleanser na malamig,
Okay.
maasim, or matamis. No. This is warm and bitter. So, please drink it. Tapos, mag-main course tayo after mong inumin yan. Okay.
So I asked them and they said we're heading to the 6th course out of the 8 and it's the main course. I don't know how many dishes we've been having already, but it's definitely not 5 so far. It's definitely way more than 5. And they gave a palate cleanser right before the main course and they said this is going to be bitter because it's made with vegetables and leaves. So it smells very, very leafy. But also kind of citrusy for some reason. Okay, let's try it. Oh wow, that's bitter. Thank you. From the looks, because of the container, I thought it was kind of creamy, but it's not. It's actually like water. It's like vegetable water. Wow, that's bitter. But at least it's healthy.
So, bigyan kita ng mga ulam, sure. And siguro, meron kang hinahanap kanina pa. Ito yung pangumpleto sa hapunan natin. Kanin.
Oh wow.
Okay? So, we call this one silog sa palayok.
Okay.
So when we say silog, it's sinangag and itlog or garlic fried rice and egg on a clay pot. So underneath, there's rice that we cook directly using that clay pot. So please be careful, it's extremely hot. The variety of rice that we used, tawag sa kanya, tinawon. It's from Batad, or yung mas kilala natin na Banawe Rice Terraces. Yeah, heirloom rice po siya. Ang ibig sabihin ng salitang tinawon in their language is once a year. Because you can only harvest this kind of rice once every year. And if you look inside, maybe magtataka ka, nasan yung itlog? Where's the egg?
Na-mix na ba?
No, the eggs that we used on this one is fish roe.
Oh,
Dried fish roe, so medyo pinowder siya. And then on top, it has sauteed kangkong. The fish is slightly grilled mahi-mahi. Next one. This is chicken.
okay.
So the chickens that we have here in Toyo is free-range and completely organic chicken from the mountains in Rizal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the part that we used, the best part of the chicken, thigh part. Do you agree?
Yes.
Right, so we grilled it into perfection. Underneath, there's a sauce that we made using a different chicken broth. we reduced it, tapos we added some flavors.
Uh-huh.
And then on top, there's a very small variety of onion on top.
Okay.
It's called rakyo from Pangasinan. And rakyo is very small that if you want to eat rakyo onion, wag mo na siyang babalatan because walang matitira.
Also, pang ito ni Bo?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want to eat that, include the chives para dumami. So yun yung ginawa namin. And then it has garlic chips as well on top with white pepper to finish.
So, wait.
Sure.
So you said you added flavors sa sauce. Like what flavors?
So it has like toyo, patis, calamansi.
Okay.
Tapos meron kami nilagay na dahon. Are you familiar with dahon ng laurel or bay leaf?
Yes.
Okay. Hindi po yun yung ginamit namin. So meron siyang kapatid. Pangalan niya Kasha.
Okay.
Na-mention ko si bay leaf because it
Yun yung
looks
mas
the same.
popular. Okay.
It looks the same.
Okay.
Yeah, but in compare naman sa aroma at flavor, mas light si Kasha.
Okay.
Last natin is this fish from the province of Bataan called Bisugop. And don't you worry about this fish with the bone dead already.
Okay.
So everything is edible. You can eat from its mouth up its tail.
Okay.
So right now, if you can watch at the wok, it's being cooked.
Yeah.
So only the head is being deep fried. The body is being poured by boiling oil. So, gusto namin, yung body niya, ma-retain niya yung juiciness niya. Pero nagkakaroon siya ng lutong dahil dun sa kaliskis niya, saka sa palikpik na umaangat. Okay? Tapos after siyang maluto, sinizon lang namin ng salt, pepper, tsaka lemon. On the side of the fish, you have ensalada. It's labanos, kamatis, sibuyas, and dulong.
Okay.
The tiny fishes earlier. So, suggestion ko for this one, actually wala. Yeah.
Okay.
Alam mo yung ginagawa ng Filipinos pag may buffet or may handaan, you place everything on your plate and then bahala ka na mag-mix
Okay,
and
my
match.
plate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, please enjoy.
Thank
Take
you.
your time.
Okay. Wow, this main course is a beautiful spread of like 3 main dishes. One is this beautiful fish that they fried, and it's actually so nice to see how they fried it. They basically like deep fried the head, but then ladle fry the rest of the body. So that's what's very unique. And if you're seated by the kitchen, you actually see it in action. Very beautiful. And then there's this clay pot rice with fish as well. And then there's grilled chicken, grilled to perfection with sauce. Let's try. I'm gonna try the rice first. So they basically said like eat this like a buffet. So I'm gonna dump some stuff into my plate. Actually, I'll just eat one by one. Let me try this first. Wow, the rice is super flavorful on its own. Oh, it's so good. Let's try the chicken. It's very tender as I'm cutting into it. The veggies is kind of hard to cut. I'm just gonna separate it. So I have a bit of everything. The sauce is very flavorful. Pretty peppery as well. It's a little on the saltier side. I wish it was a little less. But it was very flavorful. I'm gonna try the chicken on its own. That's good. I love that they deboned the fish already. So that's always my concern with fish, that you might be eating bones. Here you can eat the entire fish. Wow. It's super crispy. It's like you're eating snacks. And there's also the salad over here. It's a good palate cleanser actually. So what I'm gonna do now, so since I found the chicken a little on the saltier side, it would actually go well to mix with the rice to help like balance the saltiness. The rice is so good actually. Probably one of the best rice I've had. So turns out Clyde told me that to tell him if I wanted more rice, and I have my round 2 of rice right here because I love it so much. So I highly recommend dipping the fish into the sausawan. It is so good.
This is your first dessert. So, eto, yung nasa ilalim niya, it's sorbetes. But it's not your typical sorbetes that you can buy in the streets, like may flavor ng chocolate, ube, queso. No. Because ito, para magawa yung sorbetes na to, what we did was nag-ferment kami ng Banawe Malagkit. So Banawe Malagkit is sticky purple rice from Banawe Rice Terraces din.
Okay.
Tapos, sinamahan namin siya ng asukal and yung tapoy or yung rice wine natin. On top, yung dark purple po na yan is a seaweed na galing ng Cagayan sa norte. And itong seaweed na to, sobrang precious niya. Kasi yung mga nag-harvest na to, nire-risk or binubuwis talaga nila yung lives nila para maka-harvest na to. Kasi you can get this seaweed sa matataas na cliffs na hinahampas ng big waves. So, seasonal lang din siya. Dinrest namin siya ng sesame oil and meron siyang edible flower sa gitna na kung tawagin is pentas. And then, I will finish your dessert with this. This is one of the artisanal salts na binibenta dito sa Pilipinas na kung tawagin Asin Tultul. Galing siya ng Guimaras. Okay? So, sobrang haba ng process niya. What they do is, gumagamit sila ng ashes ng driftwood na nakukuha nila sa dagat. Tapos, padadaanan nila ng tubig yung ashes na yon. So, parang ginagawa nilang filter yung ashes. And then, yung na-filter na tubig, iniipon nila. Ilalagay nila sa isang malaking pan, square siya, or lianera, or kung lianera yung tawag namin sa kanya. And then, ang gagawin, pakukuluan. So, ang tendency kasi doon, pag yung filtered water na yun is kumulo, mag-evaporate siya.
Yeah.
May maiiwan na salt. Ito yun. But, the interesting part, habang ginagawa siya, is habang kumukulo, they added coconut milk. So they say na yung coconut milk, hindi niya intention na idagdag yung lasa ng coconut milk. Yung coconut milk makakatulong daw na matapos agad yung process, mag-evaporate agad yung tubig. So if you're going to taste like notes of coconut milk on this, for them, consolation lang siya. So dagdag ko siya. So, for this one, use your spoon. Huwag mo siyang haluin, just scoop it top to bottom ulit.
Okay.
Enjoy.
And how seasonal yung seaweed? Like what seasons normally?
Nakukuha siya pag panahon ng amihan. Like, pagka yung time na malakas yung hangin, matataas yung wave.
Okay.
Para mabuo siya.
It's starting off with desserts, and this is like an ice cream dessert called, like in the Philippines, like the ice cream guy is called like sorbetero. So this is like a scoop of the ice cream, but they made it using like very seasonal ingredients, and the seaweed on top is actually very hard to get, apparently, because it's like high up in the cliffs. So like a lot of the people who harvest it actually risk their lives trying to get the seaweed. So it's very interesting. Let's try. Actually, I'm curious on trying the seaweed on its own. Let me try a seaweed. Oh wow, it has a really strong like umami seaweed flavor. Very interesting. You can actually taste the flavor of the sticky rice. It's like if you were eating usual like sticky rice dessert, but it got turned into an ice cream form. This is very interesting. So you get that sweetness from the ice cream and then savory umami flavors from the seaweed. Such a great combination.
Hello, so I'm Bettina. I work at the pastry station here, and this is our second dessert for tonight. It's called Rosella. So Rosella is the local name of a flower that we get straight from Abra. So Abra is actually the province of one of our chefs, Chef Sherwood. So he and his family, they send us down both dried and fresh flowers from their farm. So it comes straight from their backyard, and we've been having this relationship every year since I came here, so for the past 4 years. So every year we decide what to do with it, and this year we wanted to make it into a dessert. I'm going to cut it open and show you the inside.
Okay.
Yeah, but basically the outside, we wanted to rebuild the flower again after destroying it.
Oh wow.
Alright, so what we did here is we recreated a popular Filipino grocery store snack called Chocomalos. Do you know Chocomalos?
Yes.
Yeah, good thing. Okay. So we kept the layers the same, cookie on the bottom, marshmallow in the middle, and chocolate on the outside. Inside the marshmallow, we injected some candied Rosella petals. And throughout this dessert, we're using the natural pigment of the flower for the coloring. In addition, the outside, we're using chocolate coming from Davao, a brand called Aro that we really love. We have 2 layers for that, one tempered and one creamy.
Okay.
And here we're using some...
What is it, white chocolate?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Aro white chocolate, 32%. We're using this sauce, which is made from the tea of the flower. And I'm going to choose the prettier slice, or would you like to choose your slice?
Yeah, okay.
I think it is prettier.
So this here is the second dessert. It's made to look like the chocomalo snacks that I used to eat as a kid, where it's like basically a chocolate wrapped marshmallow with some sort of like cookies as well. It was interesting that they showed the flour where it's based on and that is used all throughout the dish. And they said to use your hand to eat it like a chocomalo and scoop some of the sauce. Oh wow, okay. Kind of reminds me of like How Flakes. It has a nice like taste to it. Not overly sweet. Okay, let's try. Highly recommend like biting with all the layers. It is so good. I get the chocolate flavor, the marshmallow, the crust, and the floral chocolatey center.
So for your next one, enjoy. No. This is your second salt for tonight. Pangalan niya, Asin, Tibuok. And this is from Bohol.
Okay.
So almost similar process sila ng paggawa ni Tultul. But the difference lang, kay Tultul, as I mentioned earlier, nangolekta sila ng driftwood sa dagat, tapos sinunog. Tapos yun yung ashes. Dito, yung ginawa nila is nagbabad sila, or nag-soak sila ng bunot or coconut husk intentionally sa tubig dagat na wala sa dagat. Magulo?
Tubig dagat na wala sa dagat.
Gumawa sila ng man-made pond.
Okay.
Tapos nandun yung bunot, binababad nila for at least 1 month. Yung 1 month, yun yung pinakamabilis. Kailangan sa loob ng isang buwan na yun, sobrang init ng panahon. Kasi, the hotter the weather, the saltier the water. The higher the salinity level, the faster the process. But, pag binabad nila, and nagsimulang magtaglamig, nagtag-ulan, umaabot siya ng 3 to 7 months at most. But if they think na yung husk is naka-absorb na ng enough na sea minerals, tatanggalin na nila sa tubig, ibibilad, and susunugin. Almost similar process, padadaan na ng panibagong batch ng tubig alat as filter yung ashes. And then, yung difference ulit is, yung Tultul, as I mentioned, niluto sa lianera na square, right? For this one, niluto siya dito. So originally, this is a whole clay pot. Ayan, so nakahang siya na ganito, merong apoy sa ilalim. Again, pag ang nangyayari, pag nag-evaporate yung tubig, may iwan na asin. Right? But for at least 8 hours, tuloy-tuloy yung pag-pour nila ng filtered water. Hanggang yung pot, puno na ng salt. Napupuno siya. Umaapaw siya, umabot siya ng hanggang dito kataas. Kasi matatapos lang yung process. Pag yung salt inside the pot is naka-absorb na ng enough na init, magka-crack siya. Pag nag-crack yung salt, magka-crack na din yung pot. But ang gagawin nila is maghihintay sila ng another 24 hours para mag-cool down siya. Tsaka nila babasagin. Pupuktokin nila dahan-dahan. Para yung salt ma-expose. Magamit siya. And para mapanindigan nila yung another name for this salt, which is dinosaur egg. You remember earlier? So, this salt, gagamitin natin siya for your third dessert. And bago siya lagyan sana ng salt, ang gusto ko po sanang gawin nyo, tikman nyo muna siya. Para malasahan nyo yung difference ng with or and without the salt.
So he said to try this before they put the salt.
What can you taste?
Like muscovado.
Lalagyan ka muna siya ng konti.
So this course is very interesting. So it's a Leche Flan ice cream, but what was also cool is they presented the salt, and it's a very unique salt that they actually use coconut husk with like salt water, and they keep it in a man-made pond for like over a month. And then the clay pot is then used to like get the salt. So basically they put all the water there and let it dry out until the salt remains. And they retain so much salt until the salt breaks the clay pot. And that's why you see it all broken down. It's so nice to hear the storytelling involved into how complicated some of these ingredients are and how rare they are. This is my first time seeing salt like this. And then the value of the salt is scraping some of the salt into the ice cream actually enhances the flavor. It is so good. It is so unique what they did with this course. Like, like I did not expect to be very wowed with like just a simple Leche Flan ice cream, but adding the salt even like was so good. Such a unique way to enjoy it.
Yeah, so in front of you is Mortar and Pestle, or in Tagalog, Dikdikan, or the deeper Tagalog, Almires. Okay. Next, this one. So this is called Balikutsa. It's sugarcane candy from the north in Ilocos region. So, gawa siya sa tinunaw na sugarcane, tubo. Continuous mixing hanggang maging ganito yung itsura niya. So, interesting fact is, when you go to the north, have you been to the north? Like Ilocos, Baguio.
Oh yeah, Ilocos.
Yeah.
Baguio.
So, if you go there and if you visit one of their local coffee shops there and you ask for sugar, this is what they will give you. It's considered muscovado candy. Okay? So, inside your mortar, it already has a needed amount of this.
Okay.
And we will only use it for your next dessert.
So this is interesting for the next course. I'm actually grinding these muscovado candies. So more hands-on stuff. Let's do it. As a bit of like fun component. I still don't know what I'm getting for the actual dessert. They said this is just a component for the actual dessert.
Is ube halaya.
Ube
So,
halaya.
yeah, ube. But, yung ube na ginamit namin for this is not your typical ube na mabibili mo kung saan-saan sa mga palengke, no. So, ito, yung ube namin, galing siya ng Bohol. And the variety is called Ube Kinampay. Yeah. So, interesting fact ulit. Sa Bohol, Ube Kinampay is considered sacred. Sagrado siya. Why? Because during the World War II, si Bohol is naka-experience ng famine. And there's a specific variety of ube that help them survive. Because this ube can last for more than a year, not spoiling. Di siya nasisira, di siya nabubulok. Basta store mo siya on right temperature.
Okay.
Yeah. Up to this day, kinoconsider siya na sagrado, na sacred, na parang ang laki din ng utang na loob nila dito, yung mga tao ngayon. Kasi, ang ginagawa nila is, when the ube accidentally falls to the ground, pupulutin nila agad. Tapos, they will say sorry to the ube, they will kiss it. Yeah. So, and also, pag pumunta po kayo ng Bohol, there's an activity na you can meet the ube growers of Bohol.
Okay.
And there, you can know na there are many varieties of ube sa Bohol pa lang.
Okay.
But this one, it has a title. It's called Queen of All Yams.
Okay.
So what we did with the ube was we just added some coconut milk and then hinalaya. That means continuous stirring in a very, very low heat until it thickens. And the balikutsa that you crushed will be the sweetener.
Okay.
Okay, so lagyan nyo siya dito. And then, ang gagawin nyo na po for this one is use your spoon. Tapos mix mo siya.
Okay.
And then yung pwede mo na siya kainin. Okay? And Jepe.
So question yung ube, yung actual ube type yung nag-last ng 1 year or may ginagawa sila to make it last 1 year?
Wala po. Basta nasa tamang temperature lang siya.
Okay.
Kahit hindi na siya nakatanim, na-harvest mo na siya, lagay mo siya sa shelf, and it lasts.
So now they actually added the actual dessert, which is ube, a very unique type of ube where it's so special. It actually lasts for a year right from the ground.
So for this, the basket,
Wow. This is a super flavorful ube. And then the muscovado candy that I crush is added as like a sweetener sugar type to the ube. It already has a very nice sweet taste. It's so good.
Also, this is the last part of your tasting menu, your last two desserts, your sweets. But first, syempre, welcome to Toyo. Okay, last desserts nyo na to, start tayo dun sa cassava cake. So yung cassava cake na yan, binake namin sa sarili naming pugon or brick oven. Yun nasa corner ng kitchen.
Okay.
And also, yun yung traditional way kung paano gumawa ng cassava cake. Pero hindi kami nakontento dun. What we did is inihaw pa namin siya. So as you can see, the side is a little bit burnt.
Yeah.
So the purpose is nagdadagdag siya ng extra crust and extra smokiness as well. And lastly, chocolates, bonbons. So this is interesting. The outer part of this is 77% dark chocolate from Aura Chocolates in Davao, locally sourced. And then we coated it with cocoa powder, and inside it has dulce de leche.
Okay.
And
Like cream or...
it's like yema.
I mean cream filling or...
Yeah,
powder?
filling.
Okay.
And patis.
Okay.
Fish sauce.
Okay.
Told you it's
That's
interesting.
interesting.
So, for this one, my suggestion for this is you take the chocolates last.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would also appreciate you even more if you can take it in one
shot.
go.
Oh yeah.
One bite.
Okay.
Alright? Enjoy.
Thank you.
So this is now the final two courses. Basically two desserts. One is cassava cake, and this one here is a chocolate bonbon. And they did the cassava cake the traditional way with a brick oven, but then they also grilled it after, so you get the nice char on the crust, supposedly for the smokiness. Let's try. I'm a big fan of cassava cake. Really enjoy this. And you can taste the cassava, and then inside is like a crispy crust because they grilled it after. It's a nice contrast of textures. And the chocolate bonbon is interesting. It's coated with dark chocolate, and then inside there's dulce de leche. But what's the kicker here is the third ingredient, which is fish sauce. Palate, just pop everything into your mouth. It just bursts, and you get the really interesting contrast of sweet and salty and savory. The fish sauce really adds up like savory, umami, saltiness, and then contrasting the sweetness of the dulce de leche and the bitterness of the dark chocolate. Very interesting, but really worked out. It's kind of like having salted caramel, but to another level because of the fish sauce having that really umami flavors that is very different from just having salt. So interesting, so good.
This is not part of your tasting menu. So this is lambanog na na-source out namin sa Candelaria, Quezon. Meron kami partner sa Candelaria, Quezon na distillery. Sila yung nagdadala dito.
Okay.
This is not like common lambanog that you can see beside the roads of Quezon Province na binibenta na nasa mineral water bottle. Not that. Hindi siya legal. Yung ginagawa lang nila yun sa parang garahe nila. That's why may very bad image si lambanog. Na sabi may mangyayaring masama pag ininom mo yun. Kasi yun nga, pag bumili ka doon, hindi siya legal. And also hindi regulated yung alcohol level niya. This one is distilled. So yun talaga yung parang description or definition ng lambanog.
Okay.
Local distilled coconut wine.
Okay.
Yeah. So ito, FDA approved, so very safe. Actually, this is our favorite drink here.
Okay.
Halos every night we're drinking this.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't shout cheers or kampay or salud. We shout tagay. So please raise your glass, and I really hope you enjoyed your dinner for tonight. Tagay. Bottoms up. You like it? So sabi nila, yung lambanog na to, lasang vodka. Yan sabi ng karamihan. Meron nagsabi lasang sake. Meron nagsabi lasang soju, may gin. Pero sabihin ko, yung exact lasa niya. Yung lasa niya, lasang isa pa.
Although
Do you agree? Yes.
it's about means one more.
Yeah. It tastes like one more. Okay, so I really hope to see you again sometime soon. Tagay. Thank you.
What's a party in Toyo or in a Filipino household without pasharon or pabaon? So this is our sourdough bread from our bakery that's under renovation. So it's a still hint of like what's to come again.
Yeah.
So it is fried dough, fried donut or fried dough, sourdough. We use our mother dough from 2016. So it's been alive since 2016.
Oh, okay.
A little snack so you still remember us tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
That was such an amazing meal. So after everything ends, they actually give you a goodie bag with a bread from their bakery. And you also get the menu that you had with all the courses and then instructions of how to heat up your bread. This has been such an amazing experience. Highly recommend checking out Toyo Eatery when you're in the Philippines or in Manila. It is definitely one of the best restaurants I've had here. And it is such a unique experience with Michelin coming up next year in the Philippines. I'm pretty sure they're getting a star, probably 2 star.